morning. Good morning. It's 7:04 on this Tuesday, June 13th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. The sun is shining. It's going to be a terrific Tuesday. We welcome you to our program, and it is all presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and it is time for today's Health Minute brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Getting frequent migraines can be painful and interrupt daily life. Migraines typically present in the form of moderate to severe head pain and are usually concentrated on one side of the head. Migraines are often associated with nausea and discomfort with bright lights and sounds. There are multiple options to help prevent migraines and reduce their frequency. Treatment plans are tailored to the individual and their health needs. For some patients, changes in their daily routine can help. Getting the proper amount of sleep, having a balanced diet, and routine exercise, such as yoga, can help reduce the severity and frequency of migraines. Reducing stress in your life through meditation, therapy, and mindfulness also has added benefits. And another reminder, at some point, most everyone has experienced that discomfort in the chest known as heartburn. But the condition is more than a painful annoyance. It can do serious harm. Heartburn, or acid reflux, affects an estimated 15 million Americans daily. For relief, most people turn to over-the-counter medicines, and simply try to ignore it, assuming it's no more than a nuisance. However, chronic heartburn that is not properly treated can produce serious consequences for an individual's health. These consequences include tooth decay, ulcers, inflammation, abnormal tightening of the esophagus, and even increase the risk of esophageal cancer. If you struggle with chronic heartburn, talk to your provider about ways you can alleviate heartburn symptoms. And for more information, visit VanderbiltWilsonCountyHospital.com. Excuse me. Well, again, a good morning, and let me welcome Justin Beasley, who is here representing the city of Mount Juliet.
It's been a minute, Coleman. I don't think I've seen you in almost 2 months, maybe.
It's been a while.
I think I was mayor sat in for me once. I was at a conference another time. Chief sat in for me on vacation. And then another 2 weeks have gone by, and we haven't talked baseball. We haven't talked City of Mount Juliet, but I know people have been holding down the fort for me, probably better than I have. So I'm thankful for that.
You have a special presence about you, and I've come to really appreciate you being here.
I appreciate it.
Because we can talk about a lot of different things. I think we give due diligence to the City of Mount Juliet, but having done TV sports, being a guy interested in sports, and I am too, that gives us something else to talk about, plus just whatever's going on, you know.
Yes, sir. We have a good time. You have a special presence to you. I've learned a lot from you, so don't you give me credit without taking it yourself now.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
You had a Board of Commissioners meeting last night?
Yes, sir. Apparently, it's going to be the only one in June. I don't think we'll have enough for quorum on the next fourth Monday of the month where we'll have a meeting. But the good news is here, we have met our budget. We have passed it on second reading, which it will be into the state well in enough time as far as our deadline is concerned with the City of Mount Juliet. A lot of new, exciting things in it. I'll mention one of them.
I'll tell you what, before we get into that, we probably ought to do due diligence to all of our UT fans. They did beat Southern Mississippi last night. It was, what was it, 4-0, I think. When I went to bed, I saw the score this morning. I believe it was 5-0.
Did they win two?
They won two. They lost their first one.
Okay.
That started on whichever night it was.
This weekend,
Saturday night, I guess, and finished Sunday.
Yeah.
That one they lost, and they won, and then they won again. So, yes, they're going to Omaha along with LSU and the chop Florida Gators.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Well, she's doing the Gator chop.
She is. MJ knows best. I don't pretend to like college baseball until Omaha.
Really?
And really until the final series, the best of three. So, but I did y'all see where Texas, they forced a pop-up and couldn't find it in the lights, and
I saw that
Stanford
last
walked
night.
it off.
Right. Yep.
Yikes.
Saw that.
That's something. You know how they say every time you come to the ballpark, you see something new. For me, that's new. I don't think I've seen that before.
And it was okay with me if the Cincinnati Reds took 10 innings to beat Kansas City last night. That was an exciting game.
Good sports night for you, Coleman.
Yeah, right. Well, back to
Yes, sir.
To the city of Mount Juliet and your budget. The final reading, it goes to the state, but it's pretty much a formality for them to, I guess, approve it or whatever. The main thing is getting it passed through the city fathers.
Absolutely, and we did that last night, and it was very cordial. We had some debate, but certainly everybody was on the same page with what we needed to do as a city. One of the things I'll mention that's pretty interesting that I'll be honest with you, I talked about it with our finance director last night. I haven't had a chance to talk about it with our mayor, but this is pretty interesting. We're going to have a special census in the city of Mount Juliet, and I think the bottom line of this is what we're going to do is we're going to try to reach out to every citizen and have them, put down their address, their name, and how many people are in the household. And it's really most of the time that simple, just so we know how many people are within our city. Now, one of the reasons for this, not only to have an accurate count, to know what kind of services we need to provide, but my understanding is with the state, we get $135 more per capita funding. So if we have 4,000 more people than the last census that had us a little bit more than 39,000 people, that's money that can go towards the city to better fund services that they'll need. If you got 39,000 versus 45,000, that's a big difference, and you need to know that as far as services. So I've heard that will be one of my tasks, is making sure people are filling out that form. So I guess if I have to, I'll go around door knocking, not soliciting, just saying, hey, let us know that you're Mount Juliet proud, and help us at the city better serve you, and that's what we'll do.
I understand we're going to do the same thing in the city of Lebanon, or at least have a special census. We're both trying to be the largest city in the
We are. I think that secret's out, right?
Well, that's the main thing, though. Honestly, I think the main thing is getting all the money that's due you from the state.
Absolutely. And I'll quote my pastor, Pastor Alan Jackson of Murfreesboro at World Outreach Church. He says, people are moving here in droves, and they're not coming for the beaches or the fantastic weather. They're coming just because of the state of Tennessee. Middle Tennessee is a desired place, good school systems, great people, a great like-minded community, faith-based community, and that's what we have here in Wilson County. We have so many people moving here. We need to keep up count with them.
No state income tax.
Yes, no state income tax as well. My first job was in Kentucky. They had state income tax. I probably didn't make all that much. I sure didn't, and that hurts your check a little bit, doesn't it, Coleman?
Yeah. Well, I still think our sales tax is a little too high, but we are getting a break this fall on groceries
for like 3 months, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm going to hold off till then. I'm kidding. That would be something. Another thing, we have the Cedar Creek Greenway. We have $1 million grant the city's going to receive in order to extend that. Now, the Cedar Creek Greenway, part of that, we have a bridge now at Charlie Daniels Park that goes across the Cedar Creek Greenway, that goes from Charlie Daniels Park to Tuscan Gardens. Our goal the last 10 years as a city has been to have one of the most walkable cities in the state of Tennessee. And if you look at the last 10 years, it'd be hard to find per square feet anybody doing any more than we have. And that's part of, this initiative of with this grant. That's a big deal within our budget. We're also going to add.
How wide is? It's not all that wide across the creek there, is it? Or is it? I haven't seen that.
It's not too wide, but we're creating a greenway where you can see it and you can view it along the walkway. That's what we've done with the Cedar Creek Greenway at Charlie Daniels Park, and we're just having it extend to more parts of the city. Just so I think our goal is to where you can get anywhere in the city without having to commute in a car, and we're close to that. Obviously, there's some more work to be done through the BPAC, the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee, which I think they're receiving an award today in front of the school board today at Wilson Schools, and also through our Public Works Department. They're always geared towards finding a way to have us one of the most walkable cities really in the country.
And this has been an ongoing thing for some time.
Yes, sir. It precedes me for sure the last 10 years. You know, BPAC always has walking events on Sundays. They've got one, I believe, on the 29th this month where they normally meet at a park. They'll walk for an hour, and then they'll have dinner afterwards. Just trying to promote that for the youngsters and also highlight what the city has compared to what they didn't have a little bit more than 10 years ago. So
Just
it's
wondering,
pretty cool.
Any fish in the creek?
Any fish in the creek? I'm sure, absolutely. Rocky Lee, our parks director, is a huge fisher. You know, Cedar Creek Greenway was, as Ray Justice said last night, drawn on a napkin quite some time ago on a crayon by him, probably like 20 years ago. So I'm sure he's seen almost every fish that's come through there. He's a Mount Juliet boy through and through, Commissioner Ray Justice. Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's see. His band, what, Cedar Creek?
Cedar Creek Boys, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if I can plug them real quick, we've got two big city events coming up. July 4th will be at Circle P Ranch. That'll be our U.S. Community Credit Union 4th of July fireworks at Circle P Ranch. Needham's Nursery and the City of Mount Juliet will present the fireworks. We're touting it as the largest fireworks show in Wilson County's history. It'll be north of $65,000, and one of those performers that night will be the Cedar Creek Boys. The Cedar Creek Boys will also be featured at our July 15th event. You might remember last year our Celebrate MJ event had more than 10,000 people there. We're doing it again this year, July 15th, 4 p.m., and there'll be a car show as well. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that after the break. I'm sure you gotta pay the bills, right?
We got to pay the bills.
You gotta pay the bills.
Time for a break. Justin Beasley's with us, and we'll talk more in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, low price tire guarantee on all tires every day up to 30 days after the sale. There'll be any competitors' pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic build down through Millersville, through that section of Sumner County on 65 southbound. They are passing White House. Traffic still looks good at the moment. Coming up through Brentwood, Franklin on 65 through Williamson County. It's crowded right on schedule on 24 westbound at Bell Road. Past Hickory Hollow Parkway. Just trying to get in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Nash Painting, they service all of Middle Tennessee. These guys are #1 in residential and commercial painters. Check them out online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
At Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, world-class care is a heartbeat away. In fact, we offer the same world-class attention Middle Tennessee has come to rely on from a Vanderbilt Health Hospital. Supported by over 200 specialties, an expanded emergency department staffed with Vanderbilt Health physicians 24/7, and greater investments in life-saving technologies and care. It's just one more way we're making healthcare personal.
Coleman and Company, we thank you for joining us. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and Justin Beasley is with us from the City of Mount Juliet Public Information Officer. And he brings a mouthful every time he comes.
I try to. That's part of the job, if funny enough.
For those who may have joined us late, second reading on the budget last night. No increase in taxes, is there?
No increase in taxes.
Right.
Our property taxes are very low. I know, Coleman, you had a little bit of an irritation with the sales tax in Tennessee. I will say our people in Mount Juliet and Wilson County as a whole shop local and shop often. That generates a lot of revenue for the city. So we are thankful for that. And in order for that to happen, we can have property taxes very low. Mm-hmm. And if you fill out this special census form, we can keep those low. You'll hear about that a little bit more later.
All right. That was the big thing last night. And anything else you want to mention before we move on here?
Yes, a little bit more part of the budget.
Okay.
You know, we have a new EMS division at the city of Mount Juliet that's been going on 3-4 months now, certainly longer than that as far as getting the operations up and running. But we will have 3 new EMS lieutenants, and we'll add 2 other staff members, a training and a compliance officer, which will serve the city very well. We actually brought Station 2 online, the new Northside Fire Station last Wednesday. If you want to watch that ribbon cutting, we called it a hose we had the hose in front of the
Uncoupling?
hose uncoupling.
All right.
There we go. I'm a mouthful, but I don't always say the right words. And if you want to see that press conference and our official grand ribbon cutting, that's on our City of Mount Juliet Facebook page. Also, with our police department, we're adding 4 to dispatch because we're receiving a lot of calls from our EMS division adding on to that. So you need more bodies within that room. We're also adding 3 policemen and women. They'll be doing interviews for that, I'm sure, sometime soon. As far as capital projects are concerned, we are dedicating $76 million towards capital projects within our city. A lot of that is going to go towards the police headquarters, but understand that's not what every project is total. That's what we see forecasted within this budget year that starts in July 1 and goes to 2024 of June. So whatever we can forecast in that's the $76 million. $61 million of that's going towards infrastructure. Obviously, we've said ad nauseum on this show that we have a lot to improve with our infrastructure in the city of Mount Juliet because of so many people moving in and us, being a thriving city. Again, I will say our Board of Commissioners putting their money where their mouth is as far as infrastructure, they're doing something about it, which we're very excited to see.
That sounds like a lot of money. I don't know what you've done in the past, but that's a goodly amount.
I think last year we did $31 million, somewhere around there, towards infrastructure. Now, again, $61 million, that's not meaning we're doing twice as much the work, but, some of those projects are out of design. Now you're seeing, cones on the road. You're seeing, more streets being paved, the infrastructure actually going in. So that's a little bit of a reason for more of the increase, but, that's par for the course this time of year as far as what you need to improve infrastructure.
You said there were some different ideas, I guess, before the final vote or whatever. How much difference of opinion was there regarding this budget?
Yeah, a lot of that happens during the workshop, which is publicly recorded, but it's not a actual Board of Commissioners meeting. Each department head gets in front of the board and says what they need, what they want, makes their case for it, answers any questions. Most of the time, if it's within reason and it's approved by Kenny Martin to even get in front of the commissioners, it's approved. Sometimes, a commissioner or two will ask, can we shave some money here or there just for certain different things, and that will happen and that will be presented. So not too big of an issue. I will say one of the things brought up last night, and I'll just brag on our commission, they did have a COLA raise, and for anybody that knows about COLA, that's cost of living adjustment. We have one of the largest ones in the area. We finished at 6.75% for our more than, I would say, probably 250 employees at the city. And that raise will go into effect in July. I think the federal COLA is 8.3. Now, last year, the Board of Commissioners gave 8. This year, it gave 6.75. You won't see that really in any other city in the state of Tennessee from what our, Dana Heyer, our finance director, said last night. So we're investing within our employees and making sure we retain them and are also competitive. Don't think of this as, government's giving more to their employees. They understand that you can make more in the private sector, and they're trying to keep employees and trying to keep them within the city of Mount Juliet because we have a fantastic team that Kenny Martin's assembled from the top to the bottom.
Well, sometimes I think it's prudent, it's wise to pay a little more and retain somebody than to have to replace them. There's a cost to replacing somebody.
Huge cost.
And a loss of experience and so on that I think has to be factored in.
Yes, sir. As I say often about the city of Mount Juliet, we're a small town, and we're not going to hide away from that. We love that small town feel where you can go to local Joes and know who's in there and talk to them for a while. But as far as the magnitude of us being close to Nashville, being close to the airport, having a Costco, having a BJ's Wholesale come to town, having so many great jobs there, and really so much quality people, quality homes, quality infrastructure coming. We have our best days ahead of ourselves, and I don't think we're in AA or AAA ball anymore. I think we're in the big leagues, and we're trying to make a name for ourselves. And that's what you have to do to retain those people and have those services, because our citizens deserve nothing but the best. I think you're seeing that with how good our fire department is, from an ISO 10 to a 5 to a 3. With our EMS division, you don't see cities our size adopt their own agency like that. And our police, I don't need to say anything about them. They're fantastic, and everybody knows that.
And we understand you're going to be looking for a new police chief come the end of the year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, I think the official date might be December 15th.
Yes, sir. Yes. We say that. We're not excited about that. We love Chief Hambrick and all that he's been able to do for our city. I think I've seen some press clippings that have said we're going to try to convince him to postpone that retirement. And I think there's a little bit of truth to that, because we love the guy to death. He's done a great job, but he's got other plans within law enforcement, in his future. But he's done a great job, and I will say one thing as well about his department. Deputy Chief Michael Mullins returned last night to the city of Mount Juliet, and we recognized him in front of the board. He actually graduated from the FBI National Academy. And if you're like, what is the FBI National Academy? It's Quantico, Virginia. Everybody associates Quantico with the FBI. He spent 10 weeks there, got some college credits, did a lot of physical training, mentally, physically exhausting. But he came back. He came back as Hercules. I'll say that. He is. He's half the man he was. He mentioned that last night, and he's going to serve the department well with what he learned in Quantico, Virginia. And that's more than I can say. I went to PIO course in Nashville for a week. That's nothing like Quantico for 10 weeks.
Yeah, I imagine he got put through.
Absolutely, yeah. He did. He shared some of the war stories with us, and we're proud of him for sure. He did a great job.
We got about 4 minutes. What else is on your mind?
So I mentioned a little bit about those big city events. Volunteer State Bank is our title sponsor once again for our Celebrate Mount Juliet event. Our headliner is going to be War Hippies, Scooter Brown and Donnie Reese. Again, that date's July 15th at Charlie Daniels Park at 4 p.m. Mentioned the Cedar Creek Boys are going to open for them. We'll also have Cherie Hefner, which is the wife for Commissioner Scott Hefner. We'll have food trucks, inflatables, a splash pad, games, cakewalks, face paintings. Again, 10,000 people showed up to this event last year. If our census is right, with just a little under 40,000, that's 1 in every 4 people came to that event. Along with that event,
and this, what is this event? Just Celebrate Mount Juliet?
Celebrate Mount Juliet is the branding we're going with, presented by Volunteer State Bank. Yes, sir.
Nothing specific about this particular date.
Nothing. No, sir. We had it last year. It's the 3rd Saturday in July. Okay. We're branding it like the 3rd Saturday in October with Alabama, Tennessee. Yeah. That's our thing. But
right.
It's a way to celebrate the city. Last year was the 50th anniversary. This year we're just going to celebrate Mount Juliet. Last year went over so well. We've added more money into the budget. Kept the same money in the budget to be able to do this again. And then we have the Ray Daniel Cruise In. He's the owner of our Chick-fil-A. Many locals know about Ray Daniel. The Cruise In is not a car show. There's a big difference. We're not handing out trophies. We're looking for vintage, classic cars that will be on the same property, Charlie Daniels Park, Saturday, July 15th. Free admission, free entry, no registration, and we'll have goodie bags and coupons for the first 150 guests. And it's not just any car cruise in. We're going to have a big LED screen that's going to show everybody coming in, show their pictures. We're going to have the whole parking lot, about 150, 200 cars we're expecting. We're going to have quite the pomp and circumstance there.
So really, this is 2 events on that same date.
Yes, sir. So last year, Celebrate Mount Juliet was a staple event. We added a cruise in at the very last second, just told some people to bring some cars, really to fill some real estate. We didn't know how many people were going to be there. Now we're like, hey, 10,000 people are going to be there. you can have kids, families, and car enthusiasts see your car. So that you're going to get more eyeballs on your car than just about any car show you're going to get in Middle Tennessee. So we added Ray Daniel to the mix, and we think it's going to be a pretty big deal at the City of Mount Juliet. Again, same event, same day, just marketed to different people.
And part of your job as public information officers to be sure that the general population of Middle Tennessee are aware of this.
Yes, sir, and I can do that.
Especially Mount Juliet.
Yes, sir, and I can do that well through the Coleman Walker Show. Better than I can anywhere else. This is the best medium out there.
How's your son doing?
Son is doing great.
He's a year old now?
Yes, sir. His first birthday was our rookie year, and it was baseball themed. So he's 13 months now. He's not walking yet, doesn't have the boldness or courage, but he's the form is there when I'm holding his hands. He loves the water, always is trying to dive into the pool. We have friends that have a boat. He loves the lake, goes to sleep, loves it. So he's thriving, and Mama's
not keeping you up nights.
No, we forget he's up there. He sleeps so well. I kid you not. It's amazing. His mama does a good job, and his dad, when he can, does a good job too. I won't take too much credit.
What's his name?
Brady.
Brady
Right. Beasley. Yes, sir.
A good Brady report this morning.
Yes, sir. Hopefully we keep him coming. Thanks for asking.
The whole thing has been a good report. It's been very positive, and
thank you.
And you have done a good job explaining it all, and we appreciate you being with us.
Thank you, Coleman. We appreciate you, man. Good to see you again.
Justin Beasley, Public Information Officer for the City of Mount Juliet, and that is part one of Coleman & Company, brought to you by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Stay with us for more here on FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. High performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated #1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Now on 24 through the Hickory Hollow area, right on schedule, coming out of Rutherford County, leaving Murfreesboro, headed towards Nashville. It's crowded, right on schedule. Also there on 65 South at Trinity Lane, I see some heavy traffic volume trying to get out of Clarksville on 24 eastbound, headed towards Nashville. Nash Painting, they service all of Middle Tennessee. Check out their website today at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
And now, a moment of silence to remember our dear friend.
Sorry. Oh, man.
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. With a wide range of air conditioners, furnaces, and heat pumps, Rheem makes it easy to feel comfortable, even when you can't be comfortable.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
A warm and dry day ahead for us, but the humidity will be staying on the lower side. Temperatures climbing through the 60s this morning, looking for a high of 79 in the afternoon. We will fall into the low 50s tonight, then bounce back for a high of 86 tomorrow. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number 1 Ned.
Coleman & Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Tuesday. Sean Dozier joins us. He's Executive Director for Hearthside Senior Living, and right here, ready to get going on a Tuesday morning. How are you?
I'm good, Coleman. How are you?
Doing well.
It's always good to see you on a Tuesday. Good to see Billy. I talk to him. I always make sure I speak to Billy back there in the corner. He keeps everything going.
Boy, he is so good at what he does.
He does.
Really is, and yes, we need him. He's a very viable part of the whole thing here.
Well, it's always good to see you and see him and see MJ in there. Always wave to her.
Yeah, well, MJ's on top of the world. The Gators are going to the college the baseball World Series, college series in
She's
Omaha.
chomping in there.
Yeah.
She's
But
chomping.
so are the Tennessee Vols. So
Yeah, that was a good game last. I fell asleep, so I didn't watch it all. But
Well, I don't have that channel, but I was keeping up with them until I went to bed. It was 4-0, I think. I figured they were going to win, and they did. 5-0.
I'm happy for them.
Yeah, and of course
LSU.
LSU. That's the other one, I believe.
I can't remember.
Is that 3? I think so. They got 3 of the SEC out of the 8, so that's not bad. Well, we want to talk about Hearthside. That's a place where you spend a lot of time. You're executive director and have a great team there for your retirement and assisted living community.
Well, I tell you what, I like to focus on our three values. Our communication. We try to communicate with residents, families, and we try to keep that up. And then we offer, I think, great customer service, not only the assisted living, but also the independent living. And then compassion. Compassion is a big deal when you're dealing with senior adults and families when they're making that transition. I had to make a call yesterday that was a difficult call. Every once in a while you have to make a difficult call to a son or a daughter, and I had to make a call to a son, and I had to tell him that it's about time for your mom to go to a additional level of care. And that news is pretty tough to take, and he took it pretty hard. And so we talked through it a little bit, and then by the end of the conversation, he was like, I really appreciate all that you've done for my mom, and I know she's ready for that next level of care. So, compassion is a big part of what we do, and I think that shows not only through our staff, but we do try to keep people as long as we can until they're ready for that next level. Sometimes you just have to take that next level of care, and so I made that call, and I think he felt our compassion. I think he knows we care for his mom, and but anyway, it's I think
that's not something
that's something I look forward to, and but the assisted living, is people can stay for a long, long time. Just they have to be able to leave the building in 13 minutes, so they have to be able to transfer from their bed to a wheelchair to a walker, or they have to be able to transfer and get to the dining room. So transfer is a very important thing, and so
and you do have guidelines.
We do. We have to follow the guidelines. We just can't keep anybody all the time. Sometimes we can put people on hospice and keep them there for a while, but I think compassion is very important, and I think Hearthside over the years since 1994 has been compassionate to a lot of families, to a lot of residents over the years, and I think people know that in the community and appreciate that.
Well, it's like we say, Hearthside, when it's time for a helping hand, and a lot of people have been helped since 1994.
Since 1994, and then in 2010, we started building the independent living homes. We have 30 beautiful homes, and as we say on here every week, we have a long waiting list for those independent living homes. Really, I'm not even taking, names anymore just because we have so many people on the list. If you want to be on the list, I'll certainly put you on there, but we have a lot of people on that list. And then the assisted living, we do have a small waiting list for that. And so if you're interested in assisted living, I talked to a lady yesterday who is interested in bringing her mom, and we talked about that. And she said, well, I can only come on the weekends or after 5. I said, no problem. We'll make arrangements for that. So we give tours anytime that anybody's can make it, and we want to make sure we take care of people that way.
Well, it's all located there, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North, and it really is a great location.
It's a great location. We don't have to build a senior citizen center. We don't have to build a Don Fox Park. We don't have to build a bowling alley. We don't have to build a Jimmy Floyd Center. It's all right there. The special school district is right down the road. It's all right there, right in the middle of town. So it's a great location. It's a great real estate, for that time of those rooms, we have small, medium, and large rooms, and I tell people it's great real estate in Lebanon. It's the best place you can be for that season of your life. So if you're looking for assisted living, you want to be near everything, doctor's offices, restaurants, it's a great place to be.
And one other thing, too, locally owned and managed.
Locally owned and managed. I tell people all the time, you have my cell phone number, you have Jan's cell phone number, you have Cindy's cell phone number, our director of nursing. You don't have to go through a corporate ladder to get what you want. It's all right there here locally.
Really, that means a lot.
It does mean a lot.
Hey, you'd like to know who you're
That's
dealing
right.
with. I do. I
do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Well, are you ready for Hearthside?
Yes. Hello? Amy Harris, she's a driver for Wilson Rides. A lot of people know her through Wilson Rides. She takes care of our riders, and she listens to the radio show. So I wanted to say hello to Amy Harris.
Amy Harris. Well, thanks for listening. And
I thought about you this week. I had a problem with hearing. I said, I feel like Coleman Walker. I'm having a little issue here. So I had to go to the ENT yesterday, and they had to do some work. And so I know how you feel. I experience.
Are you hearing better?
A little better. So I feel.
What did they do for you?
Do I have to say it on the radio?
No.
They cleaned out a bunch of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That always helps.
After vacation, I came back and my ears were stuffed up. So anyway, have a great week, Coleman. I'll talk to you later.
All right. And thank you. Sean Dozier, Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living, Retirement, and Assisted Living Community, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North, right here in Lebanon. That phone number 615-443-1994. 22 before the hour. I want to welcome Brian Hutto, Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Excited to be here today. How are you?
I'm doing well, and it's great to see you. And you have a guest this morning. You can introduce at the proper time, but it's really nice to have you here. And of course, I guess you're happy to have a little break here with school being out.
We do have
sort of
being out. We've got summer camp, which kicked off last week. That's a sort of a COVID byproduct. It's a really good thing though for our students. It's for our teachers. We've got a great staff that is navigating. We've got about, we'll say roughly 300 elementary students, a little over 100 middle school students coming into school 4 days a week, doing a great job. So we're rocking and rolling.
A little remediation here that will no doubt go a long way toward improving where they need to be.
Correct. That's the goal. It's time spent together. The class sizes are smaller. It's just a really good environment, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. But we've got a great team that's had them set up, and so they're doing a great job already.
And one of the good things about this doesn't go all summer. 4 weeks, isn't it?
Yes, sir. That's correct. 4 weeks. So they'll run through June. And then they'll work extra hard, and then July we'll shut down a little bit, take a break, and get ready for the next round.
Half as much time for those, I guess we could say, about half.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
What else would now you didn't have a school board meeting?
We have school board meeting coming up on Monday, June the 19th. Our summer meetings, we work around schedules. Our board members, they're busy folks, and so we work around. But we've got one Monday morning at 8. Agenda items, we'll do our budget amendments. So we'll sit down and we look at where, with the cost of things, we'll have to amend some of our budget items. Got several items on there, good things for the board to discuss. So we'll work through that. But primarily, we're working on getting ready for next year, filling vacancies. We'll create a budget. We're working for that, towards that actually. But we're excited. Also, our summer meals, I wanted to put a plug in. That's kicked off. We've got several locations. If you head to our website, our cafeteria staff, Beth Petty, that whole crew, they do a really good job providing meals for our students and books that go along with it. So it's quite the outing.
How does that work?
So federal program, we've got 2 buses, the Neon and the Remix. They load up each morning. We've got some staff that will load those buses up. And then they've got a schedule of locations they hit around town. And so the folks in those neighborhoods know, but if you're interested in it, Don Fox is really centrally located. But you can head there, you can grab a good meal, and then they have the book bus, which you can get on the bus and read books, and we track the percentage of students that come. And we have a lot of grandparents that utilize this, and that's exciting to have that group come in, and they'll eat, and they'll have their grandbabies with them. And so
how long has this been going on? It's not totally new.
It's not totally new. I want to say this was pre-COVID when it started, and then of course the pandemic put a wrench in lots of things. But they're full swing, and Miss Angie Ballard is our cafeteria manager, but she's integral in that, and so it's really good.
Is Beth Petty mainly in charge of this, would you say?
It's a team effort. Beth takes care of the book bus and locating resources. Miss Ballard takes care of the food, and we've got transportation involved because it's a couple buses involved and drivers and staff. So it's a big undertaking, but it's well deserved.
But
good
it sounds
service.
like you've got it well defined.
It is a well-oiled machine that I have nothing to do with. I just get to come and brag about it. But that crew, it's a good service to our community.
Yeah. Well, no doubt those children, hopefully they look forward to the books, but especially something to eat.
They do. They've got lunch, of course, and then they do a grab-and-go breakfast for the next day. So if you're interested, you can get 2 meals knocked out pretty much every day.
And does this go throughout the summer?
Yep, dates for that started June 1st through the 30th, and then it'll go July 3rd through the 14th. That's the remix and both of them. And then, like I said, if you head to our website, there's probably 8 different stops that they have, and those times are on the website as well.
Okay. Well, it's not like you shut down when summer vacation comes.
No. There's no shutdown. We just have less people around, maybe. But
Well, I was going to ask you. You hopefully going to have a little time off sometime. It hadn't happened yet, has it?
it has not happened yet. We leave. We've got a vacation last week of June. It's my parents' 50th anniversary, so I want to do a shout out to them, Roger and Luann. So we're all taking a trip together. My brothers, wives, children. So it's
Well,
going to
that
be
ought
good.
to be great.
It will be great.
That ought to be great. I hope you have a wonderful time.
Well, we're going to do
and
that.
Leave your problems home. I mean, not well. We might want to call them challenges.
That's
sometimes
opportunities.
they're problems, opportunities, whatever. But some R&R is always good.
That it will be good family time. My brother lives out in Oregon, the youngest, so we'll get to see him. And
Are you headed that way?
we'll head to Oregon, and then this we're going to Hawaii, Coleman.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this is a big thing.
Envy is not a good thing, but I'm almost envious.
It's a big thing.
I
We're excited.
Hope you have a great time, and for their 50th anniversary, and all of you, the whole family.
Whole family.
That is wonderful.
It is wonderful.
Right.
It is.
Well, that's a good way for us to take a break, I think. Let's take our break right now. Brian Hutto is with us. Our special guest will be introduced when we come back here on Coleman and Company at 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, they have high performance, high horsepower, 0% financing is still a thing. Now is the best time to save on new Kubota L-Series tractors, rated #1 for durability and owner experience in the U.S. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now in traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's pretty crowded now, right on schedule. Coming out of Rutherford County, Murfreesboro, headed towards Nashville through the Hickory Hollow area on 24 westbound. Short stopping or delays at times there. 65 south at Trinity Lane. It's building pretty good out of Kingston Springs, or should I say coming through Kingston Springs on I-40 going eastbound. Hey, Nash Painting, they service all of Middle Tennessee. These guys are top-notch professionals. Check out their ratings. They're online waiting for you right now at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Coleman and Company, we welcome you to our final segment here for a Tuesday morning. And we joined us late. Brian Hutto is here, and he's one of our regulars. It comes pretty much this Tuesday on the calendar. He is the Director of Schools for Lebanon Special School District, and we've got some news to share this morning. I think this announcement's been made, but I guess you're ready for this.
Certainly. Yes, sir. Coleman. So excited, brought a guest today. We've got the new principal at Castle Heights Elementary. Dr. Armstrong, who previously served in that capacity, she is moving into our central office. As you know, you can look around town, we're growing. Yeah. So is our staff. We're up to over 700 employees. And we had a need for some HR, capacity help, licensure certification, really that grow your own for teacher retention and growth. So Dr. Armstrong's going to roll into that position, and that freed up a spot at Castle Heights. So Nathan Gordon is taking over the reins for Castle Heights. We're excited to have him. Enthusiastic, energetic. He's a local. Good guy, so we're excited to see what he can do over there.
Well, I appreciate you bringing him this morning. And Nathan Gordon, welcome to our program.
Thank you, sir.
It's really good to have you here, and you and our audience, or myself and our audience, can find out a little bit about you this morning. A little bit more than Mr. Hutto has told so far, but there's that question we always ask, which I ask you during the break: are you from around here? And the answer is yes. I guess you've probably been asked that a few times. Are you from around here?
Yes, sir. I grew up on a little farm out past Carroll, Oakland, and me and my wife, we lived in 3 different houses right off Coles Ferry, so we haven't gone too far. Been in Lebanon my whole life.
How did you get into education? Where'd you go to school, by the way?
I graduated from Lebanon High School, and then you kind of have that awkward point when you get kicked out of the youth group, when you're 18, and I started teaching Sunday school, and I knew right away. I loved it, and that's how I started getting into education.
So at that point, at least, you decided that was for you.
Yes, sir.
So what have you done so far?
So I started out my career in Metro, and I was a special education teacher, and also got time in MIS class, students that really struggle with behavior. And I did that for 2 years, and then I came home, and I got to work for Wendell Marlowe at West Wilson Middle School and loved it. I did everything at West Wilson Middle School. I got to coach 2 sports, 2 clubs, and Wendell was a great mentor. And then from there, I went to central office, and I got to be a district instructional coach. And I went to 5 schools, and between the 5 schools, they have 30 first-year teachers. And so I got to work with 30 first-year teachers and just help them be successful in their first year. And from there, I got to work under Kathy York, and I was assistant principal at Rutland for 2 years. And then I went to Elsie Patton Elementary, and I got to work for Dr. Holland.
Okay.
Got my doctors mixed up.
What got you into the special school district?
So I've been in Lebanon my whole life, lived in Lebanon, and I've always worked in Mount Juliet, so this is a little bit like coming home for me. And, when you do these kinds of things, it's not just a one-and-done interview. I got to meet with Mr. Hutto multiple times, many rounds, and just loved his urgency. I love when he meets the staff. The first thing he always says is faith, family, LSSD. And it just seems like an amazing place to be. Good district.
So this will be your first principalship?
This is my dream role. I've never been a principal before. I've been assistant principal for 4 years, so this will be my first year as principal.
Well, having had 4 years to watch somebody else, you've probably taken good notes.
Yes, sir. I've had some great mentors, like I said. Wendell Marlowe was a huge one. Kathy York was an amazing one. And let me get her name right this time. But my principal at Elsie Patton Elementary was just amazing mentors for sure.
So you'll be taking over when school starts. Well, actually, I guess, when's the official date for you to...
Yeah, July. It's a July contract, but principals report back July 11th. But Mr. Gordon's already been at work. Part of rolling into a new school, we really want them to be able to sit down with their staff individually in an informal setting and just talk. And so he's been working through that process. I think finished up, or he actually was working through that last week. So,
what's approximate enrollment at Castle Heights?
A little over 600.
So you've had that many before. That's not new.
No, sir. I'm kind of coming from a sister school. Elsie Patton Elementary, as far as demographics and a lot of things, are very similar to Castle Heights.
Mm-hmm. So far, so good then with those that you have met. And, of course, you and Mr. Hutto seem to have established a good rapport.
Yes, sir. So the past 2 weeks, I'm meeting with all the teachers about 30 minutes each and just asking them questions. Basically, what does Castle Heights do well with the community, for students? And also, I kind of threw in at the end, if you had a magic wand, what would you change about Castle Heights? Not that necessarily anything's going wrong, but, where are we headed? And it's a strong staff.
You mentioned sports. What did you coach?
I was the soccer coach and the cross-country coach at West Wilson Middle School.
These, what used to be minor sports, are becoming more major, aren't they?
Yes, sir. Soccer, middle school soccer students with personal trainers, it's a whole nother level.
Well, we wish you the very best and appreciate you being with us today. Is anything else we need to discuss with him, or back to some other things?
We can go wherever. Really excited for Mr. Gordon at Castle Heights. We talk about, and he talked about the process. And so my most important job and a principal's most important job are the folks we hire. You can set yourself up for success. And so he came on top of a lengthy process, and he laughs about it. I laugh about it too, because I experienced the same thing with Mr. Benson when he hired me as principal at Coles Ferry, 11 years ago. It was multiple rounds. It was walking hallways. It was spending time together. So I didn't create that, but I've learned from it, and we apply that. So we're excited for him.
Well, I can remember involving another person. Actually, it was somebody at Castle Heights, a predecessor here. Mr. Benson talked to me about that. How many times he just wanted to know a lot about that person and spent a lot of time, and that must be a good process.
It is a good process. It's valuable for everybody involved, and it really, for us, we just want to show how much this district means to us and our families, and we want to do right by them.
Well, one other question. I know sometimes we have shortages. Are you having to deal so far with any shortages either of teachers, cafeteria personnel, custodians? You don't have to deal with bus drivers. That's somebody else's job. But how about your is everything pretty much in place, or are you looking for a few?
So for teachers, very strong group of teachers, all veteran teachers, which is amazing. But I actually am looking for a general education educational assistant and a special education educational assistant. So I'm still looking for 2 EA positions.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Back to you, Mr. Hunt.
Yeah, that's a great segue. We'll talk staffing for a little bit. We're in really good shape, Coleman. We hit the ground running. I actually started back in March when we determined if we had vacancies, retirements, or through growth. Posted positions early. We wanted principals to be able to go ahead and get cream of the crop pick and not wait. So most of our teaching vacancies, I'm pretty sure we're all filled. We've got a couple of special ed EA capacities and some of those extra services that are still out there. But we're in good shape as far as staffing. Next big priorities for us, like I mentioned earlier, will be budget. The state's providing additional funds through a new funding formula, through TISA. And we want to make sure that we align with our strategic plan. We want to make sure we take care of our teachers, retention, recruitment. That's huge for us. We want to make sure we give them a raise. And then we're really doing a push for supporting our families and guidance counselors, emotional supports, behavioral supports. The school's a one-stop shop now, and we embrace that role. We want to partner with the families, and I've got to tell you, our families are fantastic. We talked about this 3rd grade remediation, retention, and within Lebanon Special, we were able to sit down with each school, with each set of families, and we started this back in October. We sent communication following Christmas break. We met with them individually. Hey, your child, this is where they are, this is what we're doing, this is what might happen, here are our options. And so really receptive, supportive. So when we rolled into summer camp, we didn't have families that were surprised. They knew what was going to happen. They knew we were going to take care of them, and we appreciate their patience with this. So it's been good.
So you feel like you're on the right path here, and not too many are going to fall through the cracks.
I feel really, really good about the direction. We won't ever want to let a kid, whether there's a law in place or not, we want to take care of kids. The pro to this is we want students reading on grade level. The con, do we like it associated with one assessment? I'm not going to debate the law. We're just going to work it and take care of our students. So, yeah.
Well, let's switch gears just a little bit, because there's been a lot of attention, especially after what happened at a private school in Nashville about security and some extra measures. I'm wondering if any of that has been implemented, or to what extent you've been working on that.
Sure. And so safety is always a priority, regardless of world circumstances. It's always a priority. We've got Mr. Mike Kurtz. He's our director of operations. Mike's a former law enforcement, military. He's got a legal background. He is my safety guru who's wired that way. So we have lots of conversation. There are some technical aspects that we can't discuss, and the legislature passed that measure that our safety plans have to stay confidential, and that makes sense. But just for our families to know, we did, our board approved the purchase of first K-9 unit that'll be implemented within Tennessee in a school setting. Cannot wait to really roll that out, and next in July we'll be able to share some more details on that. But it's going to be a good tool. We've got weapons detection. We've already approved the purchase and implementing that. And of course, those safety measures as far as locks, window films, everything's on the table. And thankfully, really appreciate our board. They've taken that as a priority as well.
One of the good things, and I think you probably, when you count your blessings, you might include this, that you don't have high schools to do.
You have no idea how many times I'll sit in a superintendent's meeting, or we'll sit and they'll be talking, and I love high school. I'm a high school teacher.
Yeah.
That's where I started. But as far as for us having that lower grade student, it definitely, the level of issues is not quite as pronounced. So yes, we're appreciative of that.
Financially, I think the special school district has been in good shape, seemed to have for a long time. And there's been more appropriation directed towards education and teachers this year by the General Assembly.
That's correct. That's correct. So with TISA, BEP was the previous funding formula, and so we're transitioning to TISA, and it's a per student funding formula. So BEP before, they based it on your population, and they would say you need X number of teachers on your population, your average daily attendance. TISA looks at a student and says they have a value, which children are invaluable, but they put a number on that. And then based off of their needs or services, that value can be added to, because we understand a student, let's say a student has a reading disability, and we have to put extra resources to help get them on track. This formula allows for that. So we're able to take the extra funds and make sure we support all our students. Another part to that is there's a percentage that's allocated for teacher raises. The legislature wants starting teacher to make $50,000 within X number of years. I will say Lebanon Special is ahead of the curve on that. We've always been high on the list as far as pay goes, because it's important. We can't pay them enough, but we really, really work hard.
Have we covered everything? We're about out of time.
Hey, I've got one more. MK Willoughby, SACC director. She has taken over the reins. Connie Gray, we love Connie Gray. She has retired. She's going to be working with the district in a different capacity, similar role. But MK Willoughby, she's taken over SACC director. She's fired up, ready to go. I need to bring her. You need to meet her. But she's excited to take care of our before, after school, and then, of course, summer care. So wanted to send a shout out to her. Proud of her, excited about the work she's going to be doing.
Thank you so much for being with us today.